Rob?
Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Rebellion, and today we're looking at a figure that everybody is going out of their minds, including this guy right here, to try and get a hold. She's a chase figure in the set, and we all complain about how hard it is to try and track down because they literally make us chase ourselves from store to store to store to pick up figures. Of course, it is the Star Wars Black Series, figure number 6, Captain Phasma. I think the character design looks great, and it is so odd, weird, interesting, exciting, whatever you want to say, to be excited about a character that we literally know nothing about. Unless you've been doing any reading. I read just a little bit today. I don't think this is spoilery-ish at all, but they said Captain Phasma is not going to be a one-and-done villain, that they have long plans for Captain Phasma. So I think that's great, that, you know, she's not going to Boba Fett herself out of the franchise or is not going to be like Darth Maul. So I'm trying to remember, and I'm sure all the Star Wars fans out there will just jump all over me. And I go by saying I'm a Star Wars fan of old. I went to the drive-through or drive-in theater and saw Tron and Star Wars, but, you know, A New Hope when I was a kid at the drive-through with my parents as a double feature. So I've got the pedigree in front of me of being a long-time Star Wars fan. But there was a silver stormtrooper. I think it was in one of the expanded universes. It is escaping me right now. I'm sure I could go down and grab my Star Wars encyclopedia and figure out who that was. But I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. And seeing the Force Awakens first trailer that we saw Captain Phasma in, I thought that was pretty cool. And I always had this dream or had an idea, you know, being a big superhero nut that I am, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a stormtrooper that had a cape or a cloak? I thought a perfect stormtrooper that I would love to have seen, like Luke Skywalker be in, would have a cloak or a robe and have a lightsaber. I wonder if we'll get that in The Force Awakens at all, that maybe Phasma will wield a lightsaber. Wouldn't that be cool? But Captain Phasma is sporting a cloak. She is a stormtrooper of some type, I would believe. Maybe we'll get more of the backstory. So I'm rambling here just to kind of try to chew up some space here. Again, this is one of those things while reviewing some of the Force Awakens figures, there's not a whole lot to say about any of them because we haven't seen the movie yet, or some of us haven't read, you know, the comic series that's kind of leading up to this movie. So it'll be interesting that on the 18th of December, after we've all seen the movie, to kind of look back at some of our reviews and go, oh man, I've got a ton to say about this figure now. So what little we do know from Captain Phasma is written on the back of her bio here, which is really small, but I will read it. It says, Captain Phasma, clad in distinctive metallic armor, Captain Phasma commands the First Order's Legion of Troopers. That's it. And then it's obviously written in, you know, different languages. So Star Wars is playing everything close to the vest, as they say, and just making us wonder and wait and have all these discussions. So we'll just continue the discussion, but we'll go through it in action figure form. And now that I've reviewed all of my troopers from The Force Awakens, I can now do Captain Phasma appropriately and put her with all of the troopers that I have. So we'll get Phasma out of the box. I'll stop yakking here, and we'll be right back with the 6th figure from the Black Series for The Force Awakens. This is Captain Phasma. All right, we have Captain Phasma out of package, and she looks fantastic out of package. Of course, I thought she was going to. I didn't think I was going to get her out of package and be like, oh, this is a horrible figure. She looks better in package. Very much like the First Order Stormtroopers, there's just a little bit of extra sculpting that's been added here. Obviously, the paint. I do see the little port off to the side where it looks like one of the little mini blaster pistols can probably peg into her leg if you wanted to. Probably obviously doesn't have it in the movie at all. Maybe we'll see more. But she looks great out of package. Some people don't like the cloak being that it's hard plastic as opposed to cloth. Kylo Ren has a lot of cloth parts on him. So some people have been saying if you were going that route and putting cloth on Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker next year is going to have a cloth tunic. And then you always have those people that like the cloth, don't like the cloth. You know, some people are taking the head off Captain Phasma and using a Game of Thrones head for, you know, the actress that's playing her, which is escaping me right at the moment. I'll probably put it down here in the annotation. And then making a cloth cape for Captain Phasma. A lot of people are having a hard time doing the red stripe that goes around here. I'm probably going to leave the plastic cape cloak on, just probably for just being on the lazy side. If somebody wants to make me one, then sure, great, I will put the cloth one on here. But I'm somebody that I want it to be accurate, because obviously you can tell that it's shorter on one side and goes longer to the other, and I assume it's that way in the movie. And wouldn't it be interesting if the cloak belongs to somebody, where she got it, or just deemed it for herself? So I think that's just really interesting. The figure looks great. They did a really good job on Captain Phasma, and for the most part, they did a really good job on all the Black Series figures. There are some that may be a little less than others. I don't seem to have any loose anything. I did want to point out the back of the cloak here. There are some pieces here that you can see that they're kind of patched in, like they're extra pieces of fabric maybe that are on her cape, that it's probably movie accurate. I would assume that maybe it's a jacket or a patch or something from somebody else that she turned into this cloak. It'll be interesting to see, is there a backstory to her cloak? The underside, she is very much like the First Order Stormtrooper. Identical. It's just a standard straight up paint job. She is taller though, so the mold is the same but different, if that makes any sense at all. There's the back of her head, but very cool. Can kind of rotate around. I'm really out of frame here, I apologize. So it can rotate around and get out of the way if you need to be able to get an arm to go up, or you know, or something like that. So let's take a look here. The head can rotate left to right, can look down and up a little, again, like I said the other day, because of the shoulder pad on some of them, it's prohibiting to get a head tilt, just because of the extra, you know, plastic there. You saw the one arm go up, the other one does too. We get it to a 90 degree, which works really well. Now the other one does go up too, obviously, but because of the cloak, it does get in the way and looks a little funny. So again, I could see why people are saying a cloth cape would work very well for Captain Phasma, or anybody, just so it would hopefully look a little more realistic, and won't get in the way of posability of the figure. Although sometimes with the cloth capes, it's a little funny, like they just don't lay right. The material's not thick as it should be. So I'm torn on the whole cloth cape scenario. She has the upper diaphragm twist. I thought she has a waist rotation. Does not appear. I think these can be made to have the waist rotation. There's no reason. I'm going to grab another Stormtrooper just in case I just never tried it. No, they don't move there, so could have easily had some more range of motion out of there. Legs go forward, not very far due to the belt and the way the upper thigh guard hits there. Can't do the splits really, so I don't know how agile Captain Phasma is going to be in the film. Double jointed knee, which I can't get the other one to move. Come on, Phasma. Come on. This is where Rob breaks the figure on camera. So there we go, double jointed. Somebody's probably saying, Rob, you forgot the arms. Yes, I did. Single bend at the elbow, rotation at the elbow like all the other Black Series figures. Hand rotates and has the hinge. And then jumping back down to the foot has really good ankle articulation and rocker. So Captain Phasma is rip-roaring and ready to go. So very happy to finally get Captain Phasma. I was hoping I wasn't going to have to resort to going online and buying it. I really just enjoy the experience of walking into a store and picking up a figure. But I was able to score a couple other Kylo Ren Starkiller based Kmart exclusives, and a good person on the Star Wars Black Series figure, sorry, I'm trying to find some information here, set me up with it, and we made a trade, Captain Phasma for Kylo Ren, and it did really good. So I just want to say a heads up and a big thank you to Brandon for doing the trade. Hopefully you're enjoying Kylo Ren, and I am thoroughly enjoying Captain Phasma here. So what I've been waiting to do, I wanted to get all the other troopers reviewed. Let's bring up the First Order together and see how they all look. All right, here's Captain Phasma, and they're in the middle of a meeting. A briefing, so we're gonna have to be really quiet. It's really cool to be able to see all of the First Order Stormtroopers together. It's going to be even cooler once we can get the Flame Troopers up here. I would like to at least pick up one more Snow Trooper, and then I'm a sucker for just normal general Stormtroopers. I'll probably, if I see one, I'll probably just continue to buy them here or there just to have a cool army. The only other person we've got to bring up here to kind of complete the First Order of the figures that have been out so far is one Mr. Kylo Ren. All right, the First Order is assembled. Gwendolyn Christie. I knew I remembered that name, so I didn't have to put it down in the annotation. I was just noticing in the size. I didn't do a size comparisons or really notice it at first, but Captain Phasma is taller than the other Stormtroopers and Kylo Ren. And I believe that's because she is probably that tall in real life. So they got her scale correct. I would believe, I'm assuming so. So I'd like to get her Game of Thrones action figure to maybe do like a head swap. We might see Captain Phasma without the helmet. We might not. It's still really interesting and still a little early to say yet. But early is now a really subjective word that we are almost less than a week away from the movie. Still, you might as well call it 2 weeks still. By the time Sunday rolls around, we'll be just a shade under 2 weeks. But wow, so happy to finally have Captain Phasma here. She looks great, and just seeing all the troopers together. I've always been a big trooper fan. So I'd like to pick up a TIE fighter pilot at some point and have just all the different Imperial officers that I possibly can. I want to at least pick up one more snow trooper, and then probably, you know, a few more stormtroopers, because you got to have enough for an army. The flame troopers are coming out. I'll probably pick up 3 or 4 of those guys. Hopefully that I can. But today we've been taking a look at the very hard to find Captain Phasma. Hopefully you guys are able to find her. She's going to be re-released again in the next upcoming wave. Granted, she's only going to be 1 per case again, but at least there'll be 2 waves out there and at least a couple more chances to pick up Captain Phasma. So today we've been taking a look at Captain Phasma from the Black Series. This is, of course, figure number 6. So as you're going through your pegs, all you're looking for is, where's the number 6? Where's the number 6? Here she is. She looks great. Hopefully you guys out there are able to find Captain Phasma. And I want to thank Brandon again for hooking me up with Captain Phasma. Thank you very, very much, sir. This has been Rob for Rob's Rebellion saying we'll see you next time. Bye.